Hi guys, so I'm going to do a collective reading. So I'm using the Thoth Tarot today, as well as the Sacred Web, and we're also doing the messages. Okay, so for the collective who is watching, what do they need to know? I didn't ask my question technically, but it's the King of Fire. What do they need to know right now for their highest timeline? The collective who's watching right now, what do they need to know right now for their highest timeline? One more. He's who popped out. All right, obviously he has something to say, and then we have the Fool card. King of Fire. Okay. All right. I just like it when stuff like that happens. Okay. All right. So what, for the collective who's watching right now, what do they need to know for their highest timeline? What do they need to know right now for their highest timeline? One more. Oh, wow. Source of fire. That's the Queen of Fire. We have the King and the Queen right here. Literally sitting right next to each other. Together. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. No. Ten of Fire. Yeah, Ten of Fire. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. All right. All right, so for the collective who's watching right now, what do they need to know for their highest timeline? Whew. All right. That is hot. That is fiery. That's a lot right here. The King of Fire literally popped out, but I didn't finish asking my question or setting the intention, but he came out again. Okay. The Source of Fire, literally they're like, oh, you can almost say like holding hands or side by side right here. This Ten of Fire. Ten of Fire. Holding a passionate truth. Carrying a passionate truth. The bat is technically hanging upside down with all of these wands in its feet. Like holding on to them. He looks comfy. He's like all covered up in his little wings and everything. So it doesn't feel like a bad energy. Just, it feels like a passionate truth. Yeah, with the Source of Fire. Mother of Fire. This Fool card. Okay. All right, so this is the final message. All right. All right. The messages are standing on business, food forests, that came out in the last collective reading, clip, Japan, Babe Ruth calling his shot, Flutterbee, love language, Kenneth, and ring ring. All right, let's focus in on him. He wanted to come out King of Fire. Knowing his passion, knowing his truth, knowing where he's going. He's very intentioned. Passionately intentioned. He's not even being carried or drawn by a horse. It's a lion. That's clarifying this Fool card. Jumping into something. Having the correct responsibility to make it happen. The kings are responsible. They're in charge of the passion or the highest truth of their suit. Whatever this is about, he holds the full responsibility of whatever he's jumping into. Entrusted. Something new. Yeah, because we have the 10 of Wands over here, so we're going to see what that's about. Okay, then we have the Source of Fire. This always looks like it's sitting on her womb. Just how it sits, how her hands are cupped. A lot of fire here. 3 of the 4 cards are fire. 2 of them are the King and the Queen of Fire, and the other is the 10 of Fire, the highest of the suit. Which 10 of Wands, you could say, has the ultimate knowledge of the passion within something. Like having gone. Trying to make sure that I'm differentiating the King from the 10, because sometimes I can give out a very similar description of those two. Kings are the court cards. They're the actual action of the passion. They're the embodiment. The 10 is the cycle. The actions of. This is a very different 10 of Fire. I always read them more. I very much focus in on the actual image of the card to really give me the interpretation of it. And they always color the energy differently. And the reason why I don't want to say that it's a like too much is because he looks quite relaxed. He just looks like he's peacefully hanging upside down. Just very much aware of all 10 wands that he's holding. That's having control over your passion. That's King of Fire. That is responsibility. That is having climbed and gotten to the peak of a mountain. Yeah, he looks absolutely at peace with where he's at. We have this red circle around him. Kind of looks like a ripple. Yeah, he just looks to be at peace. Like, those wands are not bothering him. I know in a lot of like traditional tarot cards, the wands, the 10 of wands can be like a guy carrying a heavy burden. but it just simply means like being super passionate about something, even knowing like what's worthy sacrifices within something, being willing to go the full way to carry something. But this guy, he's just like, he's not struggling. He's like just hanging out here. That's what it looks like, just holding a full passionate truth on something. Okay. So standing on business. Doing what you say. Standing on business. Like you say something, you say you're going to do something, then do it. Find out. And this is like the King of Wands is right here. He's literally able to create whatever he wants. Fire. It's creativity. It's art. It's passion. It's sexuality. The fire that gets you going behind everything else. What's driving you? You have, whatever this is about, you have like literally the full flame of something. Like the ability to do something. Whatever this is about, like absolutely, like King of Fire and this bat just chilling with the Ten of Wands. Yeah. Fool. Standing on business. Jump in. Take a leap of faith. You know you can do something here, whatever this is about. And literally the Queen and the King is sitting right next to each other. If this is about like a relationship, you have the ability to do something, to create something. If this is like working together with someone, these are two counterpart energies within the suit of fire. Like they match. Like this can be platonic or romantic or sexual, but they both have a responsibility within their suit. This is the King and the Queen, very much at the peak of their mountains. Ready to do something new, ready to dive in. If this is diving into a relationship, you are ready. If this is about partnering with something or someone, you are ready. Standing on business, you're ready to take a leap of faith into something. And we have food forests sitting right underneath it, between the Fool and the King of Fire. And food forests came out in the last collective reading about providing for people, creating food, teaching people how to garden, teaching people how to fish, metaphorically. Providing. The kings are providers as well. Can be providers in their own way. Food forests. Providing bulk of something, a lot of something, having the ability to do that with whatever this is about. Then we have clip. So clipping something, or a clip, literally like a clip from a show, a movie clip, TV clip. Something passionate. A passionate romance, a passionate TV romance, a passionate movie romance, something that you're inspired by. Or clip, like clipping something, pruning. Fire, reducing things to ash. Reducing the unnecessary growth. Knowing what is the real growth and reducing the control burn. That was what I was trying to say in the Pisces reading. controlled burns, where you burn something so that it doesn't grow wildly out of control. It protects the environment. It protects the trees from like any kind of parasitic growth and bugs. It renews the ground, the soil. It also prevents forest fires. But clip. Okay, and then we have Japan sitting right underneath the source of fire, or the queen of fire. Source of fire, where the source of something is coming from, the source of the passion. This I always kind of see it as like this flame around or inside of her womb, and she's kind of in this like mantra position. But now it's kind of looking like she has a flame in her hand, and almost looking at it from like this perspective. And looking down, it looks like she's holding a bat with this flame around it. Protecting something. Literally holding the passion of something. I watched a few months ago, but it's an adorable little clip of Banana, making these little baby bats into these like, I forgot what she called it, but they're like little coddled. They're swaddled, that's it. They're swaddled in these little blankets, and they're eating, are they eating bananas? Or are they drinking from a dropper? I've seen so many bat clips, I don't even know which one it is, but that's what it reminds me of, a baby bat. Like looking down, this literally looks like it's looking into her hand. Could represent different things for different people. Just like, that's kind of what I just saw. This kind of like flame. She's like holding this like, oh, fire and water. But like this, because this is fire, but this is like almost rippling. Years ago, I used to look at the red circle with the open in the middle. I used to always place it with things that I considered like sistership, sisterhood, circle. We're gonna see. That might mean something for someone. I actually know someone who the bat is very important to, and I used to consider her a sister. Kind of had like some tension, but very interesting. So sisterhood or sistership. So circle is just like a way for like everyone to speak their truth, to share. Like I participated in a circle. I went to a sistership thing, and everyone just kind of like, it's just like with a bunch of people that you don't even know. Maybe you do know these people if this is to do with you, but I didn't know anyone. And you just basically share what's on your mind, and everyone was like telling like really stories that they were traumatized by. And I think that's kind of the point with like talking to people that you don't know, is being able to tell them stuff that you might not be able to tell like people that you do know, like more intense details, painful parts of the situation. And I just remember in my circle, I was actually able to talk about something that had been weighing on me heavily, and something very, very painful. And I wasn't able to talk to anyone else about it. It was very much like a hidden pain. And these people didn't know me, and literally right after my turn was done, like everyone just like, I forgot what they, like we kind of like said something, but just acknowledged my truth and my pain, and then we moved on to the next sister. So that's just kind of what's coming in for me right here. Could be like many different things. Yeah. Okay, then we have love language sitting right here underneath the, kind of right between the food forest and the clip, but directly underneath the King of Fire. Love language within passion. How to passionately provide the love language. I feel like a King of Fire is going to know what to do. And a Queen of Fire is going to know what to do. They know what stokes each other's passion and love. I have a lot of fire here, except for right here. And that's what this like reminds me of: water. Ripples. Fire and water, that came through in I think a Pisces reading. Pisces or Aries. Maybe there's like a lot of fire happening right here, but love language almost sounds like bringing it deeper into the emotions. This is red. It almost looks like it could look like fire, and maybe it is fire, but knowing how to transmute it into a watery moment of truth, of expression. Love language is showing up for a partner in the ways that they need it, or allowing them to express their love language. Like quality time, understanding a partner, liking quality time, needing like just needing quality conversation, quality moments, not feeling like their time is wasted. Like having even like a reason for making love, or having a reason for doing something. Or like touch, like knowing your partner likes to be touched and showing up for them and giving them plenty of touch, even in like small moments, and allowing them to touch you. That's another part of the touch love language, is your partner loving to also touch. And words of affirmation, they could be just very good at words of affirmation because it's their love language, or even poor at it, because sometimes people can be really poor at what their actual love language is just because they haven't had it in their life. Maybe showing up, like wherever you fall on this spectrum, like showing up for someone, knowing what they need. The ripple, there's a ton of fire here, but you have these ripples right here. And I was talking about the sistership, being able to freely talk. If this is with a partner, opening up even a line of, I just heard questions, but a line of that just went right back out of my head. All right, well, it's gone now. I'm not quite sure. This feels very different. I'm really trying to understand what this is about. There's something here that I feel like I'm missing. So let's finish going through this. So, love language, knowing how to show up for someone, learning what their love language is, what is important to them. That is definitely more watery energy. Can be passionate, like touch, can be deeply sexual, but it can also be deeply sensual and caring and loving and just yeah. Okay, then we have Kenneth. So Kenneth, maybe that name is important to you in some way, or that's a name to kind of look out for or feel out right now. Or in a clip, a movie clip, Ken. Just thought of like Ken, like Ken doll from Barbie. But Kenneth. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, we're going to come back around to that. There's something else that I can say. I'm just seeing if it's even relevant here, because I don't see how it's relevant. It's a guy that I had a friends with benefit thing with a long time ago. Yeah, I don't. We'll see, because there's like passion and stuff here. So, okay, then we have ring. Oh, so a Kenneth could be coming back in. Ring. A Kindle, whatever that represents to you. Ring. Someone. Oh, I didn't finish going all the way over here with the messages. I'll get to that in just a second. I completely cut that off. That's probably why that message wasn't coming through. Okay. Okay, so just ring. Phone calls. Something coming back in. Something calling you up. Something calling you out. Okay. All right, so let's go back up here. So Japan was sitting under source of fire. So Japan. Just whenever I see like countries or even states, I normally like say to hold an intention around it and allow that to come into your life. Like if it's something that you see on your news feed, wherever, on your social media, just like pay extra attention to it. Just see what's going on with it. And it just seems like there's a message there in some way. And then we have Babe Ruth calling his shot. And I love this energy. This is just like having confidence in something and knowing exactly that you're going to get it done. That's like King of Fire energy. Just very much like just knowing your worth in something, knowing your power, knowing your ability to do something, like to really put something into action. Maybe you've done it many times before. Just whatever this has to do with. Like being able, like Babe Ruth, he literally pointed, he had 2 strikes. There was just 1 strike left, and the crowd was angry and roaring, quite distracting, right? And there's like, I believe 2 people on base. Like it was a very important, very important. And he just pointed his finger out. I believe it was out to left field. Called his shot and then whacked it. And everyone knows that story, I feel. But just, yeah, Babe Ruth calling his shot, having confidence in something, knowing your value and your worth, your ability to do something. Yeah. And that's sitting right here underneath the source of fire and halfway underneath this bat, this 10 of fire. Having Babe Ruth, I would definitely call that like more King of Fire energy, but it's here with source of fire. Calling his shot. A home run that, you know, has other meanings like with it as well. Babe Ruth. King of Fire also has a responsibility to wield his energy appropriately, but it's sitting here with the source of fire, which feels very balanced and responsible, understanding someone's worth, their value. This could even mean like, just wondering if I need to put, what is that when 18 plus? Because I'm not sure where this reading is going right now. We'll see. But we have this, which can mean like even just because we have both the queen and the king here of fire, and then all 10 wands, this could be like a peak of sexual experience. Like, we've done it that many times, and it's, you know, we're still the king and the queen of fire. Babe Ruth calling his shot. Okay. That could even be a baby. So now I'm thinking, because this very much always reminds me of the womb. And this kind of looks like it's looking down like into the hands like this. Like she's holding a baby, or there's even like that intention or the growing of something. So if this has to do with more like sistership or group or collective, Babe Ruth calling his shot, caring for others, showing up for sisters or brothers, whatever this has to do with, being a safe place for people to speak their truths, being able to show up and speak your truth. Then we have Flutterbee right here, and this is all the way underneath this 10 of fire. Flutterbee. So this is from the Serendipity books. These are books that I used to love as a kid. And Flutterbee is, I was going to say the unicorn one, but I don't think it's the unicorn one. Is it the unicorn one? Two books. I'm thinking of two books right now. I'm trying to figure out, not sure which one it is. I'm going to say it's the unicorn one. Let me just tell that story. So Flutterbee was a unicorn, and so she was a unicorn, and she also had wings, and they had like this own little world of like these creatures that were very much like her. But there was also this world outside of her, kind of far away. And so one day she was curious. So she, you know, had explored all the environment around her, and she wanted to go outside of the land and see what was out there. And outside of the land, she met an actual horse. He wasn't a unicorn. He didn't have wings. He was a regular horse. And she played with him and galloped around with him. and she fell in love, and they had a baby. And this baby looked like a regular horse, but in her magical world, there was a time limit, and her time limit was coming up. Like, if you stay in this realm, then you lose your wings. You'll no longer be able to fly. You'll be like a regular horse. You'll live as a regular horse. Which means, so your baby, you get to stay with your baby, or you can go back to the magical realm. And keep your wings. And keep your, I forgot what exactly she was called, but she was a unicorn with wings. So her baby looked like a regular horse. And so she was flying about, and she knew she had to go home, back to that realm. She didn't want to lose her magical abilities. But her baby, she didn't want to leave her baby there. And so she flew. Oh yeah, she had been trying to train her baby to fly, and nothing was happening. It had these little bitty wings. Anyways, she was really upset and cried and said her goodbyes to everyone. And she started flying, and she said goodbye to her baby, obviously. And she started flying to go back to her magical realm. And then all of a sudden behind her, her baby had just like magically like just that ability of needing to follow the mother, even just followed and flew and was following her mama back to the magical realm. Which, it's a cute story, but I never, just like from my own perspective, I'm just like, why would you leave your partner? You know, why would you keeping your magical abilities be more important than walking? She literally walked away from her child and her partner. I know it's a kid's book. I just like, yeah. Anyways, her baby developed, followed her mama, just, Anyways, very interesting here. We're going to see what that's about. I have my own opinions about that, clearly. So, yeah. With this 10 of fire, and we literally have a mama and a father and potentially this baby energy. Flutterbee. I always stress that there's always a third option. I say it, I've been saying it in a lot of my readings, and it's been coming out a lot lately. There's always the third option. And very much so with my horse energy. An interesting Flutterbee is a horse energy. And this came through for me in a powerful way last year. And it was because, like, I basically been polyamorous or in open relationships for the majority of my adult dating life. And I got to a point a few years ago where I had just like a very powerful experience, and I realized very much that I was monogamous, and I've been like that ever since, and that's been something very, very important to me. And so this horse energy is just what reminded me the blending of the two. How to have a committed, monogamous relationship, as well as ultimate freedom and trust. That's what horse energy is to me. It's the third option. It's not being confined in something or limited. It's actually quite freeing when you have ultimate trust in someone, that you know that they're not going to leave. You build something different. You create something different. So you keep the magic, blending the magic in with whatever this other thing is. creating something new, the third option. Commitment, as well as freedom and magic. Being able to trust someone deeply. That's also something that is very important. In my own life, I feel like it's just as important, like when you have a covenant with yourself about your intention within relationships, like your intention with God, universe, karma, whatever it is that you believe in, about what is important to you and what your vows are, what you are committed to within a relationship. And I think that's what ultimately brings in the appropriate partner for you. Like, I deserve this, this, and this in relationship, and this is what I want. Like, I'm willing to follow my signs, my synchronicities, whatever it is, to have that person, the person that deserves to be with me, the person that I deserve to trust, that deserves my trust and is worthy of the trust that I'm putting into this. Like, just that kind of energy. Commitment. Like, you're never going to have to worry about me cheating on you. And I deserve that same kind of respect. Like, that energy. Or leaving. Like, that energy with the Flutterby thing. Like, you're never going to have to worry about me leaving. Flutterby. We blend. We compromise. We find the third option. We work together. Like, that's what that is. I'm sweating again. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, Flutterby underneath this energy with this baby, this child, this thing that you're wanting to create, making sure that even you know what your intentions are, even making a covenant with your partner, with the universe, understanding and very much protecting your worth, what you're worthy of, knowing how to blend it, how to compromise, how to find that third option if there's some like difficult or disagreements with something. Yeah. Yeah, sistership right here as well. Being able to like talk in a circle, get out what you feel, express, being truthful. I feel like that's a deeply respectful when you can allow someone to come in with their full truth and just be heard and not just listen, feel what they're saying, even if like there's some distortions or projections, whatever it is. And usually that happens in disagreements or with like anger or when you're upset with something. There can tend to be a lot of like nuances or like distortions there, and maybe even just like allowing them to get it fully out. And if there's anything that they need clarity on, just showing up and clarifying. That's powerful when you can allow someone to come in with their full truth, or someone can allow you to come in with your full truth. Ten of Wands is a full passionate truth. Okay. All right, so let's kind of go back through this again. Standing on business, making new moves, jumping into something, being able, it's the king and the queen here. Like, and if this is just something going on within you, this is just, you have everything you need right now with whatever this has to do with. There's responsibility here. There's even advocacy. The queens So I was creating a tarot deck years ago, and my queens are called the advocates. And that's just like what came through. Just you have the full ability to do something. Standing on business, do what you say. Or you do what you say, whatever this is about. And that's why you're full. You can jump into things, you can create new things, you can find out. You're literally willing to find out. Like, is this for me? Is it not for me? I'm gonna find out. Like, that's what that is about. So food forests. I just keep going back to the other reading. I'm trying to see if this is different for this reading though. It just feels so important that it came out again though. That's why. But we have a lot of fire here. Passionate fruit. Passionate growth. Understanding how your passion or your creativity can provide a lot for other people, other spaces. It feels like your passion, your fire is a resource in some way that can provide a lot for people. Direction. He literally has a lion pulling his chariot. Fierceness. Simba came through in the Cancer reading that I just did. But it was the Simba version of having come back to the Pride Lands, returning, knowing who he is, about to roar, or having roared, whatever it was about for Cancer. But we have the lion here. It just seems significant. Oh, in the Pisces reading I just did, we had Grogerman, the fire lion, showing up, helping create balance, reducing stuff back down, cleansing. We were talking about controlled burning. Understanding how to, whatever this lion energy is representing for you, it feels purposeful, it feels powerful, balanced, in control, in a good way, responsible, focused. Clip. I was just thinking about clipped wings, but not in a bad way, like kind of clipped in a way like bringing the energy back down onto the earth, bringing it back to like even like the bare bones, bringing it back down, walking the truth, not up in the air with it, very much like here and walking forward, focused, putting those actions in, standing on business, calling your shot, hit it. Or if you've already hit it, just whatever this is about. Yeah. So clip. I'm thinking about the Artful Dodger. one of the last clips that I've watched, and it just is very passionate. And I've never actually seen the show, but I've watched a lot of like clips of that relationship, and emotionally, I'm, you know, I like their energy. They're both very passionate. They're doctors in their own way. A king and a queen. A lot of love, like passionate love. That's something that I've also said. I've made very clear in like my vows and my truth is that like I'm here to fully love someone and be fully loved. And whatever I have to do to make that happen or be that for another person, I'm willing to do. And that show, the in that compilation, there's a scene where they're in bed and she was talking about what she was afraid of, I believe. And she wanted to be fully loved in this lifetime. And he leaned in and very just emotionally and just like firm, like, you are fully loved. That hits me every time. Like, that's just like how I feel. Just like, since we have this energy right here, it just, even if you're setting intentions for like a relationship or if this is something new or something that you, a long time commitment, even just like knowing what the next step is, since we have the Fool here, knowing what you need, what the next step, how the energy is evolving, how the relationship is evolving, what's needed now. Because we have love language right under food forests and clip, sitting directly underneath the King of Fire. Love language. What's needed now? What's new to explore? Love language. The fire opens up the water. Or the water opens up the fire, depending on what way we're talking about. Talked about that in the Pisces reading. I don't want to go deep down that hole again. A beautiful hole. But for this reading, just, yeah. Just understanding like how someone needs to be loved and what opens them. Like, some people, like, they need that passion and that's what opens up their waters, and some people need the waters and that's what opens up their passion. Just like maybe knowing deeper how someone's love language works, how their energy works and how yours works. Okay, then we have Kenneth. Don't know what else this would be about. Unless like the Ken energy has something or someone in your life. Is this to do with a friends with benefits? Or maybe for someone, this is a friends with benefits situation. Taking it to the next level. Knowing what you need, what you want. Reintroducing friendship into something. Just thinking about Kenneth. I was in a friends with benefit relationship with this guy named Kenneth. We were both Aquariuses, and so we very much had like an understanding that it was a friendship, that it wasn't going to be going anywhere. Maybe making clear what you want. You know, everyone wants something different. Some people are looking for commitment in relationships. Some people are just looking for, you know, what they're looking for, you know, and making that very clear with someone, because this can be a feeling of pregnancy. And if that's not what you're looking for, or if someone is looking for this with you and you're looking for something different, whatever this means for you, just making that very clear and knowing where both of you stand. There looks like there's a lot of passion here. Like, I would call this like twin flame energy, like the actual fire part of it. I have a different understanding of what like twin flames are. I think that's only one part of an alchemical union. This is very much like twin flame energy, like the alchemy of the fire, the alchemical fire. Being able to burn something out to its purest form, the 10 of fire, the king of fire and the queen of fire, that's going to purify something. And if you're not ready for that, that can be quite intense. But these two, this looks ready. It's the king and queen. It feels ready for all of, like, if there's any impurities here, like, to really, like, burn through that. This looks like water, burning out the impurities. Whatever you don't want. Like, Flutterby, like, I know that maybe, like, other people might have situations like that, but that's, like, that story pisses me off. Just, like, you're going to leave your child and this person that you fell in love with because you wanted to, like, keep this? Like, no. Like, that's how I feel. Like, what a weird children's book, you know? And yeah, just knowing what you want, like making something very clear, like make sure those nuances or something is understood, like, you know, making, because this is like twin flame, like this is like the alchemical fire. This very much looks like that. And something's going to be burned out, and understanding what, you know, what that purification is going to be. Like, like me, I would burn out that Flutterby energy, just like, just like, no. Like, yeah. Like, a third option can clearly be made here. So, and then the ring sitting right next to Kenneth, which is what made me think of a Friends with Benefits, or just someone coming back around. A Ken doll, he's literally like the counterpart to Barbie, or at least used to be back in when I was little. Ring. We have it sitting kind of under Japan. A call from Japan. Something coming back around from Japan, or something Japanese related. And then ring is also slightly sitting underneath Babe Ruth calling his shot. Ding, ding, ding. Ring. It just literally feels like you're ready to go. As long as the intentions are understood, both people know what's going on, there's going to be a purification here, like in some way, and it feels intense, quite intense. But it's quite beautiful if this is the avenue that you're going down. Just knowing what your intentions are. If you're wanting commitment, like, make sure that that's what the other person is, like, that's their intention as well. If you're just wanting friends with benefits, understanding, like, that's what the other person is wanting as well. Or if you both have something very different, like one's friends with benefits, one's wanting commitment, understanding like is, you know, are there compromises, you know, just making things clear. Hmm. Yeah. This has to do with the baby. Just everyone is in different situations, so I don't want to say anything like impulsively. Because I know people can end up getting pregnant when they were only meant to be friends with benefits. That's how it happened with my parents. Like, I wasn't supposed to come around. And they ended up marrying. They didn't want to be married, but they ended up marrying because, you know, I was here. And that can be painful for two people, even. Just like understanding. You know, this flutter bee, I think I don't like that energy either, clearly. Just that's also why it's important to have like be very intentional. Like if you're entering into a relationship and that the intention is commitment and monogamy, like just making sure that that's very clear and that we're working together. No one's like running away like when this child comes through or whatever this is. Like it's very much like when we come together, we're coming together. Like we're gonna compromise, we're gonna work things through. Literally the king and the queen of fire, they can do that. They have the ability to do that. It feels beautiful. It just, I wanted to make that very clear. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys got some questions to ask in your own life, some answers, and some good alchemy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.